For this video, we're going to figure out our cost structure for the firm. Okay, so on the video for average product and marginal product, we gave you some data here for labor and output. So here's going to be our L variable and our Q variable. Okay, so then we're going to look for fixed cost, variable cost, total cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, average total cost, and marginal cost. So let's start with fixed cost, which we typically just give a TFC, total fixed cost. Now fixed costs are going to be the same no matter what. And they would have to be given to you. You'd have to be given that information. So fixed costs would be things like the rent on the building, the manager's salaries, things that don't change when output changes. We're still going to have to pay those even when output is zero. So at zero labor and zero output, we still have our fixed cost. So let's say our fixed cost is $50. Okay, even if we don't produce one unit, we still have to pay these. So that's $50. As we increase our labor, as we increase our output, it doesn't matter. These stay the same. They're fixed. So we're going to say 50 is going to be the same throughout this. Okay. Now variable cost, we typically give that a TVC for total variable cost. And total variable cost is going to be the number of units of labor times the price of labor. So it's going to be the number of units of labor times the price of labor. Okay, so how many units do we have times the price? So let's say each unit of labor costs us $100. Okay, so if we have 0 units of labor, we don't have any labor costs, any variable costs. So that one's going to be 0. Okay, so if we have 1 unit of labor and each one costs $100, so we're going to take 1 times 100. We have 1 unit, each one costs us 100. So our total variable cost with 1 unit of labor is $100. If we have 2 units of labor, we're going to take the 2 times the cost per unit, which is 100. So our cost for variable cost is now $200. And then for 3 units of labor, we're going to take 3 times the 100, and our total variable cost when we have 3 units of labor is $300. Okay, our total cost, this column, is going to be TFC, our total fixed cost, plus our total variable cost. It's all of our costs. We're going to add those together. So 50 plus 0 is 50. 50 plus 100 is 150. 50 plus 200 is 250. 50 plus 300 is 350. Okay. For this column, average fixed cost, what we're going to do is we're going to take our total fixed cost and we're going to divide it by our Q value, this column. Okay, so we can't do one here because we can't divide by 0. So we're going to take total fixed cost, which is 50. We're producing 10 units, divide by 10. So our average fixed cost here is going to be 5. Okay, for this next one, we're going to say our fixed cost is 50. Remember, that one doesn't change. We're producing 30 units. So 50 divided by 30 is going to be 1.67. So our average fixed cost there is 1.67. Then we're going to take 50 divided by 36, this Q value. 50 divided by 36 is going to be about 1.39. Okay. So average variable cost then is going to be our total variable cost divided by our quantity. Okay, again, we can't divide by 0, so that one's, we just don't do anything there. So our total variable cost for this one is 100. Our production is 10. So 100 divided by 10 is 10. So our average variable cost with 1 unit of labor is 10. Then for this unit of labor, we have 200 is our total variable cost. We're producing 30 units. So 200 divided by 30 should be 6.7. And then 300 divided by 36 should be 8.3. Okay, so on this one, average total cost, we're going to take our total cost, this column right here, total cost divided by Q. Again, we can't divide by 0, so we don't have anything there. Our total cost here is 150, and our output, our Q, is 10, so this is 15. Our total cost with 2 units of labor was 250. We were producing 30 units, so this one should be 8.3. And then for the last one, our total costs are 350. Divide that by the 36 that we're producing, and that should be 9.72. Okay, when you're doing your homework, don't just say 8, don't say 10, don't say 7 and 8. You've got to give me at least one decimal point. Okay, just as a trick, you can also note that TC, total cost, is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. We learned that over here. But our average total cost, this one, is also equal to our average fixed cost plus our average variable cost. So what we could have done is just say 5 plus 10 is 15. 1.67 plus 6.7 is 8.3. 1.39 plus 8.3 should equal that. Okay? You can do it either way. You can do it both ways if you wanted to check. Okay? So our marginal cost information here is, we're going to do marginal, remember, is the change for that next unit. So our change in total cost, remember the delta means change, divided by our change in quantity. Okay, we can't do anything there. So for this one, our change in total cost, we're going from 50 to 150, sorry. 150 minus 50 divided by 10 minus 0. Okay, so that's going to be 100 divided by 10, which is 10. Okay, so we change from here to here, so we're going to take 250 minus 150 divided by that 30 minus 10. Oops. Okay, 30 minus 10. So it's going to be 100 divided by 20, which is going to be 5. And then for the last one, we're going to do 350 minus 250 divided by 36 minus 30, and that turns out to be 16.67. Okay, so that's how we figure out our cost structure for the firm.